Welcome back to the show, guys. I know I've been missing for a week. Thanks to YouTube, I got a strike from an episode that I did in January of 2021. January of 2021. YouTube is in overdrive. Apparently, all the leftist liberal media is on overdrive again because election season's around the corner, and they want everybody to be on their side. What they're doing with all this censorship, I feel like I'm in Iran. I swear, I feel like I'm back in Iran with all this stupid censorship. They dinged me on an episode that we talked about election and all that stuff, and yeah, I violated their guidelines, which I watched the video over and over and over and over again. And you know what the jacked up part is? You can't talk to anybody at YouTube directly. It's a bunch of liberal morons sitting at home. They have nothing else. They got nothing to do because they're just morons. So, anyways, yeah. So I got my strike on the account, and that was fun. Time will only tell when this channel will get banned from YouTube because freedom of speech no longer exists in this country because of these leftist liberal morons. Leftist media and whatever you want to call them. Anyways, so you guys are aware of what's going on in Iran, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it a little bit, and just to see where my point of view sits on this. Well, Iran's notorious about these little acts, and they do this. They do this often, and once in a while, one of them goes viral, and it happens quite often, actually. But every once in a while, it turns into a movement. And most of the people, people of Iran should rise up. People of Iran should stand up, for their rights. Stand against the government and blah blah blah. See, the problem is most of the people here don't understand how the government works. One thing is for sure: the Iranian people are not armed. They don't have a Second Amendment. They don't have the right to bear arms against a tyrannical government. They don't have the right to bear arms, period, because there's no guns. No guns are allowed in Iran. Now, hunting rifles are allowed, on case-to-case basis. But in general, people in Iran are not armed. So the only thing they got is it's a shield, and what that is, it's a body shield. So basically, whoever's first in line is gonna get shot. And Iranian government does not care if they lose live rounds or not, which they do often. Most of the time they use live rounds. Here the cop looks at you weird, and it's racism, it's bigotry, and blah 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 blah, and they act like they were just shot by a shotgun in the face, and whatever. So two different government system: tyrannical, and here is fictitiously tyrannical. Well, to a point. You guys know what I'm talking about. Because they're trying to make this country the same way it is over there. They want the government to take control of everything. They want the federal government to have control over everything that you do in your life. No freedom. They want to take your guns away. Slowly then they'll come for your rights. No more freedom of speech. We already see the leftist media only doing that with the freedom of speech. You got no freedom of speech with the leftist media, with the liberals, because if they don't agree with you, they'll just either delete you, or they scream at you at the top of your lung, or they try to cancel you, X, Y, and Z, whatever whatever they want to do. So because they can't think, they're absolutely incapable of thinking. I am determined. And I conclude the fact that they are incapable of thinking. They just can't think. Most of them are morons. And because everything they do is emotional based. Everything's emotional. Everything's I'm hurt, I'm offended, I'm this, I'm that, blah 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 blah. And oppressed, of course. People in America are oppressed. Who's not oppressed? The whites. Who are the whites? Majority. Who are this majority? They don't know. They just want to say it. And in comparison to people in Iran, the people here, even the homeless, even the most oppressed person who says they're oppressed, are more free than the people in Iran are. That's the difference between the tyrannical government versus not so tyrannical government, or I should say not government, administration. Because this administration has weaponized every single agency that they have at their disposal. Well, we already see that, because now they're going against their the political opposition, and we already witnessed, they can't let go of Trump because he's the boogeyman. And people in here still don't understand or can't understand what is going on with this administration. They're completely blind or stupid. I don't know. One of the two. But going back to Iran. So the uprising will continue for maybe like another week or so, and it'll die out. Why, you ask? It's because just how it is. When enough people are killed during a protest, people will lose their will to move forward. When you are not armed, they will not move forward without any type of protection. And those people are not protected. If you are captured during a protest, you are now a political prisoner. You will have a political mark on your back. So, and that's usually the case. If those people ever get released from prison, the first thing they'll do is basically run away from the country, try to escape the country, smuggle themselves out of the country to a different country, and claim asylum. Being a political prisoner or political asylum. That's always the case, and the regime will go back to its ways. Now, the regime has relaxed their way of living. During the revolution was pretty harsh. You had the morality police going around, beating everybody up. But now it has slowed down a little bit until you have incidents. But in my opinion, she was 100% targeter. She was a small time influencer. Like she was on Instagram, and Iran has an internet police called Fatah. Fatah is their internet police. So they will basically, they are scanning Instagram accounts, they are scanning Facebook accounts, even though they are not allowed to go on these social media pages. But people have VPNs, and they use the VPNs to go get around the blockade to get on these social media accounts. So Fatah is in charge of internet. It's their cybersecurity, but the cybersecurity also has a back channel which monitors its own citizens as far as activity goes. So, if you are a social media influencer, this is exactly what you get. You are 100% targeted by the government. So if you could do your thing, but if you step out of line and you start talking crap about the government, guess what? They know exactly who you are. They know exactly where you live. They have your IP address. They have everything about you. So, don't take these people lightly, because they will do anything and everything to keep that regime in power, because that regime gives them the ultimate power over the people. And what controls a big crowd? Fear. So they have the best weapon against their own citizen, which is fear. So they put fear against their people. And of course, if the people start protesting, they will allow, yeah, we do freedom of protest, if it's about economy or whatever. So and this is why I always compare what's going on in Iran and what's going on here, because I'm from Iran. I lived there until I was 13. I know it's not to most people, oh, that's not your adulthood, but I have seen a lot of things that I shouldn't have seen as a child. I've seen the public hangings, I've seen executions, which, it was on our way to school when we were on the bus. It's not like I was going to these things. I've seen their mourning for Tasu'a Ashura, which is, it's very graphic. It's very graphic. There's blood everywhere because people are whipping themselves with chains. The people are hitting themselves with machetes in the head. Heads bleeding. Disturbing stuff. But reality is reality, guys. And if this is why most of immigrants who come to this country appreciate this country to the max, and they don't want to be the pawn of a government. They don't want a tyrannical government. They don't want government overreach. This is why I always say I don't want more government. I want less government. I want to be free. I want to do what I want. I don't want to be censored. I want to have my freedom of speech. Of course, if that intent, if that thing, if my speech, if I was somebody important, and I started, getting people to riled up to go something bad, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But freedom of speech is expressing my own opinion about a subject, about an event or X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. So I don't think that counts as anything hateful. Even when it comes down to voting stuff, I'm just expressing my opinion. I'm not saying that it happens. It happened. It happens. Whatever. It's just an opinion. I'm not allowed to say the government lies. I'm not allowed to say YouTube sucks. I'm not allowed to say liberals suck. Yeah, I can say that. Who are you to tell me you can't say that? If I wanted to be censored and judged, well, not judged, censored or silenced or whatever, I'll go back to Iran. I don't want to do that. We left because of that shit. So, and for those people that say I am oppressed here, you know what? You should go study what oppression means. Just because you can't buy your $300 Jordans, you're not oppressed. Just because, you live in an area where, poverty is high, that doesn't mean you're oppressed. I didn't grow up rich. I don't think any of us grew up rich. Most of us grew up on welfare. I was on welfare when we came here. We were on welfare when we came here. But we choose not to depend on it. We got out of it. You hustled. You learn your ways around the street. You learn your ways around the business. You learn your ways around society, how to survive, become competitive, push yourself, learn. When you do all those stuff, you will succeed. You don't have to be a millionaire to live the dream. You do not have to have 15 cars to live the dream. A dream is always different for one person to another. One person can dream big but have nothing. One person can dream very little and have a lot. So, it's all up to you on how you're going to proceed in your life, how you're going to, try to be a successful individual. And successful doesn't mean that you have to be a doctor, a surgeon, or a lawyer. A lot of people are successful who didn't even finish high school. A lot of people are successful and rich and powerful who only have a high school diploma. So it all depends how you're going to push yourself. It all depends how you're going to achieve the goals you set for yourself. Not necessarily your dream, but goals can be achieved a lot faster than achieving your dream. Your dream can be an object or an idea that sometimes is not reachable, but a goal can be reachable. Two different concepts. So anyways, guys, well, hopefully I don't get banned again, but do me a favor, leave your comments down below, hit the like button, because the algorithm works in that way. So if the more comments you leave, the more likes you hit, the algorithm functions better. And if you happen to catch this show and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Peace out.